Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
All right. Editorial, Tiffany Henyard soon will be gone, but Dolton is stuck with a wildly overpaid schools boss. That's Nolte. We're going to listen to the article being read. So let's check it out.
Editorial. Tiffany Henyard soon will be gone, but Dolton is stuck with a wildly overpaid schools boss. What is it about Dolton and inexcusably bloated salaries for elected officials and administrators? The outgoing superintendent of the school district for elementary and middle schools in the village of Dolton and neighboring Riverdale, we've just come to learn, is making $450,000 a year, and by the time he retires 2 years from now his salary will balloon to $510,000. Just to put that in perspective, Pedro Martinez, who is running the nation's fourth largest school system at Chicago Public Schools, is making a little over $350,000 in salary. How in the world is Kevin Nohelty, who oversees 10 schools, making nearly $100,000 more? Dolton Elementary School District 148 has fewer than 2,000 students. Chicago Public Schools has a little over 325,000. Nohelty amazingly is the highest paid school superintendent in all of Illinois, according to research from conservative publisher Wirepoints. Another point of contrast. The median household income in Dolton is $58,706, which is $23,000 lower than the statewide median, making the exorbitant pay for the local school boss that much more galling. Nohelty 2 years ago informed the District 148 board that he was retiring, but the board has struggled to hire a successor. So Nohelty has agreed to stay on for 2 more years, at a price. He's getting a $30,000 raise in each of the next 2 years, according to the Daily Southtown. Some board members say they were excluded from discussions leading to the salary increase, and 2 of the 6 voted against the new pay arrangement at a recent meeting, the Southtown reported. It would be one thing if the schools in Dolton and Riverdale were producing outstanding results. Just 19% of students in the district are proficient in reading, according to state data. Something doesn't add up here. Over the past 2 decades, school superintendent salaries in Illinois have climbed steadily, even as student performance in many districts remains unacceptably low. Nohelty is a perfect example. His salary was $292,000 5 years ago. Yet increased investment in leadership hasn't translated into meaningful classroom improvements. We're sure Nohelty's job is demanding, as most school administrators are. Still, how can the school district ask people who may be struggling financially to pay for such a high salary? Especially when the results aren't there? And it isn't just Dolton and Riverdale residents who will have to deal with the district's overly generous ways. Illinois taxpayers will be on the hook when Nohelty retires. Richly paid superintendents often retire with multi-million-dollar lifetime pension benefits. Nohelty isn't the only superintendent cashing in. Deerfield School District 109 Superintendent Michael Simek brings in $357,000 a year. Waukegan Community Unit School District 60 Superintendent Teresa Plasencia is paid $345,000 a year, presiding over schools where just 16% of students are proficient in reading. And the list goes on. Illinois is home to about 850 school districts, so we have a lot of superintendents to pay for. By comparison, Florida, with a population nearly double Illinois, has about 70 school districts. We understand that districts have to pay a competitive wage for a high-stress job if they want to attract talented candidates. That said, the districts over which many of these superintendents preside are failing to give kids adequate instruction in the basics, and so we have to ask, where's the return on investment? The egregious payout for Dolton Schools chief isn't the only indignity local taxpayers have had to swallow in recent history. Embattled, soon-to-be former Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard raked in an absurd $270,000 from her government gigs as mayor and Thornton Township supervisor. There's a significant opportunity cost at work too. With the money saved from a more reasonable superintendent salary, the district could hire several teachers, reduce class sizes, or cover after-school literacy programs proven to boost reading skills. Enough is enough. We should all be skeptical of public sector pay that outstrips many private sector C-suite salaries and dwarfs the incomes of the people footing the bill. And, at the very least, people making this much money need to be held accountable for their performance. School boards need to focus on student success, not administrative enrichment. Submit a letter, of no more than 400 words, to the editor here or email letters@chicagotribune.com.
All right, let's jump into the Hellcat. Let's get into the comments. Hold on. There were some good comments on this. All right, where's the comments? Maybe it was the other one. I have two copies of this. One was actually on, yeah, that's where it is. It's here. All right. Shelley says the leaders should make salaries based on children's state test scores. I'm going to tell you right now, that is a bad idea. That's exactly how the Atlanta cheating scandal happened, Shelley. I know it sounds good. I know it, and it would be reasonable to expect that, but that can't be it, because otherwise they're going to game the system. How are these crazy administrative costs addressed in state EBFs? The school district 103 in Lyons, Illinois, super with 6 schools, 2,200 kids, horrible test scores, all at the bottom 20%, makes over $250,000 with benefits. $45 million budget needs to be investigated. 5 to 10 minute meetings every month. No argument for me. Leaving soon, just not soon enough. Something is not right with this. What is really going on here? I would like to see the pictures of someone must have. Oh, I got you. Oh, what does this person say back? Unfortunate thing is, it is all too common. It really is common. Perhaps not to the obscene like this example, but pretty darn close. There are thousands of administrators and teachers retiring with pensions that would require a common taxpayer to save a couple million to maybe get to that annual pension. It's obscene. Our elected state officials are purchased by teachers unions and local school boards and are apparently too stupid to stop paying these insane salaries. As I have said before, there are nothing going on in a school district that would require this sort of income. How does this grifter in Dolton impact the students, teachers, and parents of the district every month to deserve $42,000 each month? I mean, that is kind of crazy when you think about it. Great day. Why is public education bad in Illinois? This is why. I gotta give you a little thumbs up on that one, my guy. I gotta agree. I don't think, well, to their defense, I bet you he's not getting this as a actual salary. He's probably getting it, and this might actually be grosser. A lot of that might be applied to his retirement, like 401ks and TRS, which is a teacher retirement service, all that kind of stuff. That money, some of that money might be rolled into that. So he has a retirement service and he gets a pension. So it's going to actually be more gross. And he can still work. Simple solution to this madness: charge tuition. Simple solution to this madness: charge tuition. If parents are required to pay for their kids' education, they will be more involved in every aspect, including costs. Just look at the private schools and see how much less they charge to actually educate. When parents pay for the services, you will expect results. In public schools, with education shall be free K-12, look at those results. Bloated administration, whatever they get, salaries and benefits, retiring at 55, pensions, most of us can only dream of, but are still responsible for theirs. On C-SPAN, there was a guest saying that in on C-SPAN saying that in public schools, I believe since 2010, administrative bloat increased 90%. Absolutely, I agree with that. While student enrollment only grew 5%. Totally agree. Charge tuition and everything changes. The school districts must then deal directly with those that pay and not all taxpayers, which have nothing to say. I agree with that. I like it, but I'm sure somebody's going to disagree with there. Let's see what Vic says. This is the last one. Vic says, I appreciate your sentiment, but Illinois public schools do not believe that their purpose is to educate and instill citizenship in children. Sadly, schools have become gravy trains for most of its employees and conveyor belt for students with stunted academics. Your answer is too sane for the insanity of Illinois schools. Wow. Okay, who is this person? Shout out to them. It's Freddie. Shout out to Freddie. Nice racket if you can get it. All right. I'll leave the link to this as well down in the chat, down in the description. But yeah, this is craziness, man. It is wild to see that, man. This is how bad it's come that this guy is still going to get $510,000 per year. And he's probably going to retire on easily when the smoke clears. It's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of about 60% of his last 2 years' salaries or last 3 years' salaries. So it'll probably still be somewhere north of 300, maybe even more, because then he's going to have the retirement and pension, anything he did in Roth IRAs or teacher retirement services, and then of course he can still work. So this is going to be crazy. But I want to know what you think about it down in the comments below. What would be your solution to solving this problem where you have overbloated administration and underperforming students? I'd love to hear what you think about it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for becoming a subscriber and helping us hit our goal of 50,000 members by the end of April. I appreciate you all so much. Until next time, everybody, grace and peace.